Welcome to the channel of Journey of Spirit. I did a spread and never thought I would come across a reading like this. This is basically what got me scared for the spiritual aspect of life. Yesterday I tapped slightly on the awareness of heavier or darker energy. And today I was guided to use some cards that I rarely use because I take them seriously. Where other decks for me are to really get in touch with and learn more in how I read and the intuitive side. Anyway, now I was guided to use some serious decks. At first it was someone with what looked like a basic overall good life. It was starting as a good reading. And the cards that I needed to pull overall overlapping the reading didn't seem to be that serious, but this really is an urgent message for someone. Being at Mercury retrograde, you see past cycles, past traumas, flash right before your eyes. And I used to have a burnout, a really severe burnout, and it started with images of past life occurrences, and they were like videos where I thought they couldn't be stopped. Now, so many years later, I know better. So for me, this didn't have to be a bad card. Yeah, on my level, this is a form of mastery. It's what's the deck called? Wait. Dark Mirror. Yeah. So for me, this isn't bad overall. Being in the midst of a burnout where you don't feel like you have a grip on those visions or on those images that cause turmoil in the mind. It even goes that far that I was afraid to go to sleep, because if I couldn't control them before I went to sleep or during the afternoon or when I sat quiet, it got me anxious, it got me yeah, all over the place. So I didn't want to go to sleep because I was afraid it would get me stuck in my dreams, and I would have not nightmares but night terrors. Yeah, driving me further from sanity, so to say. In my case, it represented, and now I'm talking about the images, the video that keeps on playing on repeat. It represented feeling powerless, feeling unworthy, and also all the things I ignored. The follow-up card was fragmentation. Yeah, and for some it means so in the spread general basic life slight fears somewhere somehow, and when I did the gypsy witch underneath, it was about yeah, people in this situation not being too kind and or trying to sneak around. Yeah, some mistrust. So this card on top, fragmentation, would be like, well, it came to me like there you would have openings, yeah? So parts of you, especially during retrograde, are uplifted for you to view. Normally with your, oh, and it's a tool, fragmentation, because then you pull something out of you, basically, or it's being pulled out of you, so you can view it through new eyes, yeah? In the long run, new eyes mean you looked at it as in a third party kind of way, so to speak, yeah? Later on you will link it to higher self. The higher self was showing you and pulling that up like this needs to go. And then death is normally, yeah. That's why I'm doing this reading. This further down the spread you have basically Dark Knight coming out. So the darker things of the heart, of the soul, however you want to view it. Followed with pertains to a dream. Yeah, when I looked it up, because to me it didn't click well, sit well, and it's a phrase for someone wanting to commit suicide. underneath with the gypsy. Hold on. This is the extra Joker card, so it's an additional person in my eyes. And clarified with envious gluttony. Right? But anyway, on the fragmentation part, it can be used as a tool. The visions or the repetitive images in the head, or yeah, as I see it, go through the third eye. And later on it feels like more through the left side of the brain to the right side of the brain. Let's say your traumas were bypassed by, like, if you don't want to tap on something, yeah, we have the ability in our brains to relay neurons, but that's not healthy in the long run. Yeah, so that you get a heavy dark night, in the long run it is for your best interest. It's not easy, yeah, but when I was younger, around the age of 12, 13, I didn't want to live. Because I felt alone. I felt that I didn't belong. And I felt like being picked apart. For whatever reason. Fragmentation too. Yeah? I didn't know. No one told me that death is just, in hindsight, has more to do with, like in tarot, the death of a situation, a pattern, a part of you dying. Because I thought that every time I went through a traumatic event, a part of me died, got lost. I can tell you now, in hindsight, it didn't. It was just basically because most of us didn't get lessons or got taught the right way. There was no explanation nowhere. I intuitively went through that. You can do the same. But there was no knowledge to be found that could help me out in that situation back then. Now there's plenty. Yeah? So if the death and the wish to end it is basically a big trigger to end the situation you are in, and the situations that occurred are basically showing you how the mechanics behind it work in a very weird way, but it does. It's a good thing. When you are awakened, or awakening, ascending, however you want to call it, Yeah. We are used to use our traumas as cloaks. Yeah. Meaning most of us find a comfortable way of dealing with them. And then we can sit in them. And even more evolved, we can sit with them, because by repetition it is like watching a horror movie like 50 times. Eventually it doesn't shock you anymore. It doesn't faze you anymore. Also a symbol for that part of the trauma of that part of the lesson being dead. Yeah. But if you aren't awakened or ascended enough, which is overall is normal and is okay, you will grow into it. We can see that it's not a bad thing per se. Again, you can do the same. You are just getting images, pictures to get used to them. Not to get too comfortable with them. Hence you're feeling all over the place, not knowing what to do. Yeah. What helped with me was writing down what was bugging me, how I saw it back then. I already had the experience myself that I in other situations would write stuff down in a letter, just for me, the intent of writing someone. Yeah. One that I did want to talk to but didn't have the nerve to, or didn't find it appropriate to do so, because somewhere you have that inkling that there is more to the story of, or that by the time the situation will change. Yeah, so I held on to the letter, or those letters, over a longer period of time. Yeah. And then once every so often I would be guided to pick those letters up again and read back what I wrote down. And then it dawned on me like, shit, I don't feel like that no more. I don't see it that way no more. And I was thankful that I didn't post that letter out of whatever emotion. Like I said, this is mostly in hindsight. That you, when you have enough space, when you created enough space, you will get to see. You will get to see what it actually is. Don't miss out on that. Don't go there. I didn't have all the answers back then, yeah. Society was pushing me to work, work, work. If I didn't have enough money with one job, I took on 2 more. In hindsight, again, I was maintaining a cycle. Obtaining a cycle. Don't. You are way more important than the illusion that is going on. On the notion that because we think there is nothing else. Let me get a charger real fast because the phone is... Nee. Updating, entertaining, maintaining a cycle. Your life is way more important than the illusion. The old. Yeah? Let me get installed. People like me already went through it and talk from experience. There is nothing wrong with feeling upset, feeling down. I even got acquainted with the hermit mode, basically locking myself up. But again, that's old cycles. My family was like living life, maintaining patterns and traditions, and that worked for them. Where I was always questioning the reason why. And are they genuine while doing that? Because behind the scenes, it would look like there was always something going on, gossip and what have you not. I was guided to tell you, look around and people like me. I got out of it. The emotions will the mental state, the fragmentation, is heavy. I'm not saying it's not. Everybody has their own way of going through situations that more of us already went through, going through, or in the future are going through. Other example, like the world around us now, where governments want more control. I was, as far as I know, one of the first in my country working hard, trying to live my best life the best way, being the good girl. And entertaining everybody else's rules and wants, so giving them the power to live your life and run your life, got me in a homeless center. And when I was younger, I would have thought that that was the absolute end. That would be the deepest pit you can fall into, and there was no way of coming out that situation. Because my third eye vision was, I was like in that water well, like in the movie The Ring. No way of getting out, I thought. I got there. I looked around. And I had some inkling. The lighter side of me said, no, this is not the end. Absolutely not the end. If you are comfortable here, you can stay here. A voice said. I'm doing this reading, this breath, this way. And you are seeing it because your inner voice told you, your higher self, however faintly, told you that is not the way. You just need some support and some knowledge. Being homeless to me meant, again, living from moment to moment, because I got a chance to do so there. And I took that opportunity, how weird it sounds like. I took that opportunity because nobody, after the longest 2 years of my life, basically, with everybody sending me through the woods, where I could get help. It felt so good to not have to do anything, and I was comfortable sitting there. The people weren't too bad. Some were worse off, but that's because they choose to use substance. after that, like I said, living in the moment. So because you got space, you don't, the pressure is away. In that moment, I could see moment to moment. Learning to listen to my inner voice more. I knew organizations didn't help me. I never heard of people in my situation working and what have you, trying to do the best getting to that point. And when I got out, step by step, taking control back over my life, because I knew after my or halfway in my burnout, I noticed, okay, this isn't that bad. Mostly honor an emotion, yeah, go through it, but see yourself going through it. If it's easier to look through the eyes of someone else, or have some other guidance, you can visualize it like you have a guardian angel. Otherwise we wouldn't be here. There are more out there that you may or may not see, but they are there. They help you through it. See it through those eyes, like if you would have a loved one who was closest, and it didn't matter how ugly they looked through their own eyes in that moment, sobbing and what have you, and you saw the beauty in them. That same technique can be used for yourself. You're worth it. Retrograde is just getting fragments, and sometimes it goes so fast that you or it feels it, the flow goes that fast that you feel that you can't get a grip. Yeah, you can. And if you can't, it is just a cleanup. It's a cleanup flow. So death means you want to end a cycle you were in, or a situation you were in, maybe even more. Maybe you don't want to deal with relatives, yeah? And or friends and anything else, jobs. And you feel yourself being weak. You find yourself not able to be saying no when you want to take care of you. You listen to your intuition, if you trust them enough, because like I said, the basic or the beginning of the spread was basic overall so basic fears, anxiousness. There we go. Thank you. It's when we are doing the most, when we feel the most vulnerable. This can be spiritual and or in life. And this is a lot to take in. If you don't like to deal with family, like I said, I even distance myself from mine, because it felt like too much of a temptation to fall back in the old pattern. I didn't create enough space and enough healing to throw myself back in. I also knew I could create my own family and my own groups, and that's easy to discern. I mean, when you have that one coworker that gives you that comfortable vibe, and followed up with that comes the feeling of, oh, I feel a little bit more, and you try to pick apart that feeling, and you feel, okay, I love that person as if it was a sister or an aunt or nephew. Those type of bonds, those type of people are around us. If not in the present moment, yeah, you will encounter them when you take time for yourself. But this step, actually going for the eternal sleep, yeah, I've been working with spirit, the spirit realms, looking into karma, what kept them stuck, why were they looking for mediums and what have you. It is to get a message across. I dealt with family members dying and showing up in spirit. Yeah, dying the right way is that all the things that they didn't, all the cycles that they didn't close, basically, or when something bugs them about the connection with you or with their nephew, or in that situation they will visit everybody they have unfinished business with, in their own terms. Some of them get a blueprint. Okay, this is what you did in life. This is basically your karma. Yeah, going out this way, suicide, will get you without a physical body, but not completely free. Yeah, because you still have to work through those cycles to elevate in those realms. This is how I learned it. And I would not like you to beat yourself up there without your physical body being like, dang. Although it might feel lighter because you are not yeah, how can I explain it? This is a complicated topic. If your higher self, if that inkling, if that lighter version of you kept you going in the here and the now, it got you this far, you know that it is there, it is present. Your darker side is just a part of you that wants to be heard. So it is about balancing both sides. But know that you have your light side. It is already present, so you don't need to get rid of your meat package. You will feel lighter. It will get better. Yeah? It's not easy. There are tools like writing it down at first, practicing to see it eventually. This could be like if you write something down now, and you feel that you have a better day. You could look back into that. You have that inkling and that nudge that will make you do that. Yeah? And it's not to bum you out. It is like to really sit with that as a tool in that moment. So later on, you will know you will get to know the mechanics and be like, oh, was that how that worked? And there is no reason or no shame in looking for help. If you feel safer to have somebody with you while you're going through the hard stuff. And it's mostly mental. Yeah. It's mostly mental. Mostly in the head. Fear of the fear, or fear the fear, is a thing. I know that now. That's why I can sit like this during Mercury retrograde. And I would like to see you do the same in your own way, as you feel guided. Okay. Take care. Wishing you love and healing. and see you in the next. Bye.